Hello, back again, roshfooco watches and things. And you've definitely seen one of these before. There's 1,000,001 reviews around, so let's not take too long. Steeldive 1970. Steeldive, of course, one of the many Chinese homage manufacturers, kind of taking over from the Japanese to offer us all of our interesting budget watches that we like so much. Of course, the difference with the Japanese manufacturers is that these are all homage designs. However, they're built pretty well, the specs are good, and Seiko are charging some crazy prices for some of their reissues, and of course the originals have gone through the roof as well. So, you know, if you haven't got much money, you don't want to spend that much money, these are a pretty good alternative. So of course this is this 1970 is Steeldive's interpretation of the Seiko 6105-8110. It is just under 44mm, this case, so it's pretty wide, although you can see that the kind of bezel is recessed into that case. So the across the bezel is only 41. It's about 13.5, just a bit less to the top of that. Really nice sapphire crystal, actually, really well done. Nice chamfered edge onto a flat bit of sapphire. 47 lug to lug, 20mm lug. So strap change is not going to be an issue. In fact, we'll take a look at it at a couple of different straps later on in the video. What's the appeal of this one? Of course, for me, that wonderful 6105-8110 asymmetrical case, this kind of bulbous bit here that's protecting our screw down crown. It is a signed crown, actually. I don't know if I care much for the logo, but pretty easy to get hold of. It's pretty well knurled. It's an NH35 in here, so obviously all the bits and pieces for an NH35, hacking, hand winding, 40-hour power reserve, la da da da. Screws down nicely, actually, to give a stated 200-meter water resistance. Again, I'm not about to try to see whether that is legitimate or not. I doubt it's been tested to that much, but whatever. Beautiful looking thing, lovely kind of smooth cushion case shape. Specs, of course, are as lots of these Chinese homages are: sapphire glass, ceramic bezel insert, Lume ceramic bezel insert, 120 click. Got a decent enough sound. We'll have a look at the Lume in a minute anyway. It's a little floppy, I've got to say. It's not the tightest bezel in the world, but it looks quite pretty good. It does the job. Actually, let's just take a look at the Lume. So there we have it. The Lume on the 1970. As you can see, we've got a fair menagerie of luminescence on this one. The hands, that Lume pip on the second hand, glowing pretty well on some form of luminova. The indexes themselves, they're fading out pretty pretty quickly, and the Lume on the bezel insert is a different colour altogether. It's more of that BGW9 blue shades, but as you can see, you know, after only a few seconds this is fading. The hands do hang on, I've got to say that, but the rest of it is yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. On a 7-inch wrist, sits well. It's you know, fairly thin, fairly slender, so it doesn't sit up too much from the wrist. And yeah, apologies, I can't get a kind of wider angle view, but sits on my 7-inch wrist really nicely. Case back for anyone that's interested. So here it is on a, well, it's not the original strap, this is a elastic strap from Cheapest Native Straps. It's actually really nice. I think it works really well, the colour on there. Because the dial is not jet black like the bezel insert is, it kind of got that greyish hue, which I think works really well. These straps are actually fantastic from Cheapest Native Straps. I've had a couple of not so good ones in the past from Cheapest Native Straps, but this one is really good. And of course, the way that it sits, there's no material under your watch between your case back and your wrist, so that you can get the best benefit out of that 13 and a bit mil thinness of this watch. Looks really good. But let's take a look at this watch on its original strap and a couple of other ones as well. Okay, this is the original strap that the Steeldive 1970 shipped to me on. I deliberately went for the rubber because I heard that the bracelet's pretty nasty. They tend to be pretty shabby, certainly the clasps on these ones, but this one, really soft silicone. Unsigned generic buckle, but yeah, it's actually pretty good, you know. I guess this could be reversible, I guess. This is the way that it came to me, and I haven't really worn it on this one, but yeah, pretty good strap. I have just noticed that I'm actually on the smallest hole there for this strap, so 7-inch wrist is as small as this strap is going to work with, but yeah, it's comfortable, it works well, it's soft. It's certainly going to accommodate longer wrists, so yeah, shout out to the Steeldive Silicone, no problem with that at all. Okay, Steeldive 1970 on the candy bar? What do you call it in England? Chocolate bar? Candy bar strap. I think this is pretty similar to what it would have originally, well, what the original watch. This one is homaging. It would have shipped on something pretty similar to this, I think, back in the Dizay. So I picked up one of these, pretty cheap. Again, I think this is probably Cheapest Native Straps. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Okay, so there it is. I suppose a good thing to note is you've got plenty more holes in there for the more slender of wrist, but it looks alright, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think it's as good as quality as this one. This is much thicker, much more supple. This one is thinner and kind of more plasticky, but I guess it has to be to get that effect on it. Yeah, 1970 on the candy bar. The 1970 on a perforated silicone. Just picked this up cheap from Amazon. I think it's kind of marketed as a smartwatch bracelet, but it's got quick release pins. It's orange, which I like. And if I ever do get back to warmer climes, if anyone will let a British person get on a plane and leave this island, I'm sure these ventilation holes are going to do the job. The problem is this thing here. Cover your eyes, that's filth, that's plastic nonsense. Anyway, let's have a look at it. Yes, I love an orange strap. And of course these smartwatchy ones, the tag end actually goes under the strap, so you don't get any, there's no tag end on there, which is pretty good, man. Some of those are really annoying if they're flapping about over here. That can be a bit of a pain in the bum. Obviously the strap is kind of compromised because it's got a big hole in it here. It's kind of more likely to break if you're using it for kind of hard situations, tough situations. But yeah, if you're just about the look, then this might be the touch. But of course, try and get one without a, what is that, rose gold plastic buckle. Yeah, that's no good. Strap of justice. Oh, zoom in. It of course is the Barton watch bands. Is it pumpkin orange canvas, 20mm. I wore this combo quite a lot in the summer actually. You might see this strap pop up in other videos because, yeah, it's probably my favourite. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Yeah, Steeldive 1970 on the Barton canvas. I love these straps. I got a blue one as well, but yeah, I'm a sucker for orange. On a watch, on the dial, on the bezel, and also on the strap. That's a cracker. That's probably my favourite combo. So too good, too bad for the Steeldive 1970. Well, of course, the looks for, what's this, 100 quid this watch? You can probably get it for less. I know you can get it for less on AliExpress if you kind of do your due diligence, but 100 quid watch with the aesthetics of a watch, which the reissue is going to cost you, it's going to cost you a bit more than 100 quid, that's for sure. And also we've got decent specs. Yes, they're pretty ubiquitous amongst the Chinese homage brands, but let's not overlook the fact that it's got sapphire crystal, a Lume ceramic bezel, insert is 316L stainless steel, and ostensibly it's 200-meter water resistant dive watch, which is fantastic. They're the good bits. The bad bits, well, I will always say this when I'm looking at a AliExpress homage watch, where's the IP? You know, it's a, you know, yes, I'm buying into it because of the fact that I bought it, but yeah, it's unless they're giving money to the people who actually design this watch, then yeah, it's a bit of a nonsense really. And the second one is the Lume really. It doesn't hang around very much. I mean, actually the Lume plots on the bezel insert are starting to discolour. Looking at that bezel, it's a little wobbly as well, so you know, you can't have everything for this money, but it does do the job. It scratches an itch and it does it for not very much money. This is Steeldive 1970. I'm Roshfooco Watches and Things, and we're both out.